So when we're looking at the Evoda irons, how do we decide what lengths we want to do? So in the Evoda irons, there are 3 different types of length. So traditional, to progressively get longer through the set. We're all used to that. So there is a bit of a comfort zone there in familiarity. However, there's also the one length where we have every club the same length. So we can, in theory, stand to the golf ball in the same way from lob wedge all the way up to 4-iron potentially, without having to change anything in setup and produce different yardages. And then we have combo length. So combo length is slightly shorter than the one length, but slightly longer than traditional length in the wedge end of the bag. We have the same length golf clubs from lob wedge all the way up to 8-iron, and then we progressively get longer up to the 4-iron from the 7. And I kind of like the idea for these reasons. It makes the golf ball go lower, which some golfers will like, but some will not. Oh, I do have to say that thing does look absolutely beautiful behind the golf ball. But that thing sitting behind the ball is gorgeous. We've got half a millimetre of offset on every golf club, so it's the same all the way through. It looks very, very clean. Now imagine we've gone through the Evoda fitting process, we've tested the lie angle on the heads, we've worked out which one's the best. We've tried the 3 different profiles of shaft, and we've worked out which profile works better, and then tried a few shafts in that space. And we've gone through the grip selection, and we've tried up to the biggest grip, and we've gone back down to the smallest grip, and we've gone, oh, there's the best. For each individual golfer, that will be a different journey, but the same process. And then we come into this space to see what we kind of like respond better to, what we prefer. So when we stand here with the one length 4-iron, which is a 7-iron length golf club at 4-iron loft, we might have a few dodgy ones to start with. And who doesn't love an excuse? So a bit of low left and pulley, no problem. I'm just kind of getting a feel for what I need to do with this club to get it to work. And we're kind of finding out whether it's your bag or not by actually hitting it. But I've got a peak height there of 37 feet, which is very much on the low side of the spectrum. And once I get a little bit more speed in there, I will start lifting the ball a bit higher. And then we'll hit the traditional length, combo length 4-iron and see if it's easier to produce a certain flight of shot. Now, someone who naturally hits the ball higher will benefit from this shorter length, from that lower flight. Or if you play on links golf, you're going to benefit from that lower trajectory going into the wind. Now, to be fair, that lean into the left-hand side is kind of expected, because in my lie angle test, I had 2 degrees flat, which then brings the ball out to the right-hand side. So we don't have all of these in the different lie angles. So it might lean to the left-hand side, but I just want to see how much height that each person generates in the fitting process. And I'm going to go one more. They're all in the same sort of space, leaning to the left, flying fairly low. Whoa, lost my balance a bit. But same sort of trend for each one. Got a little bit more out of that one. We have an average peak height of 46 feet. It started off low at 39, 37, crept up towards that 50 mark as I kept hitting and getting used to it. Gonna ignore the first 2 for this bit, but average carry 201, which is my current 6-iron, because I've got an inefficiency in the flight there where the ball isn't getting high enough to produce the yardage. And that's okay. I'm messing around to find out. Angle of descent is 29 degrees. Which is rather on the low, hard and runny side of things. Into wind, that's delightful. So if I put this one length 4-iron down and grab the combo length, just take that head off, because that is my next video. My next video is going to be looking at the curved face. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to see when that one comes out. It will be very soon. Traditional length 4-iron, same style of head. Again, I just love the shape of that. You don't often see that many sets with that sort of like minimalist offset. And let's have a little look, see. Okay, so I'm back to normal length. I'm back to a little bit more familiar space in terms of how I'm presented to the golf ball. And instantly that is easier for me. So I'm going to lean on that longer length 4-iron, which leaves me with the options of, I've only hit one shot, but it leaves me with the options of traditional length or combo length. So do I want to level out the bottom end of the bag with wedges, let's have a little look after this. High draw, 222 carry, 87 peak height. And my target number for peak height or point of reference is 99 feet. So while I started off at 46 feet and this is closer to the 99 feet, all I really want is that head to be 2 degrees flatter, then I'll be absolutely loving life, apart from that toe slap drop kick. Again, jumping from different components to components in a fitting environment, I'll just kind of say to the people, hit a couple of scruffy ones and then see what it does. But even so, it's got a little bit more life to it than the one length for me. There we go. Little left lean because it's not too flat, lovely, no problem. 222 turns into 222, 223. And if I produce consistent yardages, I'm very happy with a golf club. Yeah, that would do the trick. One scruffy one, fine. And then the other one's doing rather well. They're all literally within like 3 yards of each other. Cool. So let's lean in on the wedges. So in the demo kit, I have the same length club, which is the same length as a 7-iron, and I have the combo length club, which is 36 inches as opposed to 37. And then I have my gamer, because I don't have a traditional length demo wedge in the set. I have my gamer, which is 3/4 of an inch or so shorter again. So we've got one length in the longest. These are all 60-degree wedges at very different lengths. Now, when you have a club that is longer, it feels heavier. So we can't have as much mass or weight in the head at a longer length. So we have lighter heads in the construction of these golf clubs to mitigate that extra feel. And what that does is it reduces how much that ball can just fly away from you and escape you. So I think from what I've read and what I've seen, you get less poppy, random, extra distance shots, which might be a problem for some people, might not. So I want to get me down to 100 yards, maybe 102. We're going to call this one 60. And it's just my gamer 60. Going to hit a couple of balls with this. Again, like, familiarity is extremely high. Now this is longer than standard because I've gone longer in my irons and flatter in the heads anyway. So I'm already at the slightly longer end of the spectrum. Full shot. It's going to go through to there. And then I kind of want just a little bit of a feel. Hang on, my phone is going. Just trying to record a video, bruh. So I just want to hit a shot here off the thing, and I just want to kind of get a feel for strike on something chippy, something pitchy. Again, this is my gamer, so I'm absolutely used to this. And just strike, nice and easy, cool. The sort of thing I might do around the edge of the green. I'm going to go up one into the combo length, 36 inches. First thing I want to see is, does it look funny? Does it feel funny when I stand to the ball? I'm further away because I have to be, because I've got a little bit more length. Can I hit that little chippy one? Yeah, cool. No dangers in strike there. If someone comes along and goes, yeah, I don't know how to deal with that, then hit a few more balls and get a feel for it and see if you adjust. And if you don't panic. That's why we have these different options. And one more, yeah, striking nice and crispy. And then let's get a full shot in there. Again, I'm normally flatter, so it might lean to the left-hand side. Felt pretty good. I want to see what the difference is in spin and height between the two. There's a lot of spin on it, but it's just good to get it toe-to-toe to my gamer to see whether it goes higher, because in theory, where we have that extra length, we have more bend in the shaft. If we go shorter in length, there's less room to bend. So because we've gone up, it might throw the ball a bit higher, but where they've made the head lighter, that might balance it out a bit. I can't see anything that's sort of like weight at the top that will launch the ball lower at all. It's a pretty classic, clean looking wedge face head. Pretty clean in design, not much offset. Sits behind the ball, something like that. And I could absolutely game that no problem. I don't feel like I actually need to do much different. It's within a yard of the last shot. What are the main differences I've got from gamer to combo? Bear in mind it's a small pool of shots, but I hit a good one with mine. which came out with 100 yards exactly, 86 peak height, 11,072 spin, 53 angle of descent compared to 52.6 angle of descent, 11,200 spin. So I have more spin on the combo length by a small margin. No, 100 revs extra, cool. Launch angle 30 against 31.3, so I've actually launched the ball lower, and that 86 peak height has turned into 84. So I don't actually have a massive change in height or anything. I've got a bit more spin, I've got a consistent yardage. The ball's launched a bit lower with a tiny bit more spin. It's not like completely alien in terms of flight from what I'm used to. And now let's go up into the one length, so a 7-iron length shaft. And I want to get a couple of chippy ones. I feel even further away now, so let me give myself some space. Around the edge of the green, little clippers. Ooh. It's not as easy. I'd have to spend some time adjusting to that, which is not. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, thin, drop kicky, really thin, bit of a mixture. I can get it clean, but I have to think about it, fine. Full shot, see if we get any difference. The shot's good. If I need more distance from the ball, I've got a bit more yardage, I've got a bit more spin. More speed equals more spin. And because it's longer, I can generate more speed through the golf ball, which is quite nice. So yeah, the full shots are easier. The ones to get this thing in your hands and test out are definitely those greenside ones or those little chippy ones. Just again, just standing there on a mat and just going, okay, does it just fall into place, or do I have to work too hard for it? So one more of them. It's consistent. I can't argue with that. So I've got a slightly bigger dispersion ring. I've got way more speed in the one length because it's longer. The same launch angle, so 30.1 against 30.1, lovely. 101 against 106, okay, cool, so it's a difference. I've got a little bit more spread in that 106, and the 101 was pretty tight. And again, each person will kind of want to work this out for themselves by going through the process if you have the opportunity. But this might just give you a good guide as to where to start. So the main thing, peak height. I have 94 feet in peak height. So at 100 yards for a 60-degree wedge, I've got an extra 8 feet of peak height. It's coming in with more spin as well. So 11,200, 11,100, 11,200, 100 more spin into the combo length. Up into the one length, 7-iron length, I've averaged 11,750. So I've got an extra 550 revs of spin from a choice, which is nice. But the compromise there is how it then affects your longer irons. If you go that one length all the way through, there will be a point where you stop getting the ball airborne if we don't get enough spin and launch. But if we get the right shafts, it's going to be easier to get through the ball regardless. But just getting these ideas across to you so you can build your own idea of, oh, actually in my game, when that happens, I want to get it up. Oh, that happens and I want to get the ball down. Might just help us guide you in the right direction. But yeah, that angle of descent's gone from 52.6 into 54.3 as well. In the one length, it is an absolute ball-stopping machine. However, can I get to the edge of the green and hit those nice little delicate ones? I could get used to it. It wouldn't take long. Could I get like a flop shot going in there? Could I get that club sliding under? Yeah, okay. Again, it's different, but different isn't always bad. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one, if you subscribed.